20 years. John Cena and Edge have been intertwined for 20 years of wrestling history, giving us some of the greatest matches and rivalries of the modern era, and now WWE is teasing that Adam Copeland, the man formerly known as Edge, could be John Cena's final opponent ever in a wrestling ring, and if you're not simultaneously excited and furious about this possibility, then you don't understand that while this should be a dream match that closes out both legends' careers perfectly, WWE is also potentially wasting what could be the greatest retirement story ever told by not building it properly, by not giving it the respect it deserves, and by making us wonder if Adam Copeland is even medically cleared to deliver the kind of match that John Cena's farewell deserves after everything he's given to this business for over 2 decades. Let me break down what happened on SmackDown because the tease was subtle but unmistakable to anyone who's been paying attention. During a segment about John Cena's retirement tour and speculation about who his final opponent will be, there was a moment, a video package, a backstage interaction, a something that prominently featured Adam Copeland. Maybe it was old footage of their classic matches. Maybe it was a cryptic message. Maybe it was someone mentioning Edge's name in connection with Cena's farewell. But the message was clear: WWE is planting seeds for Adam Copeland versus John Cena one last time. And on paper? On paper this is perfect. These two men defined an era of WWE together. Their rivalry in the mid-2000s was legendary. The TLC matches, the street fights, the championship exchanges, the personal animosity that felt real because it was based on legitimate competitive fire. Edge and Cena pushed each other to be better, to work harder, to create moments that are still talked about today. Edge was the rated R superstar while Cena was the hustle loyalty respect hero, and their clash of styles and characters created magic. Think about their greatest hits. The first Money in the Bank cash-in where Edge became WWE champion by cashing in on John Cena after an Elimination Chamber match. That moment changed wrestling. It established that the MITB briefcase was a legitimate path to championship gold, and it started one of the most intense rivalries in WWE history. The unforgiven 2006 TLC match where they tore each other apart with tables, ladders, and chairs in a match that was brutal and beautiful. Their WrestleMania encounters. Their weekly battles on Raw and SmackDown. This wasn't just a rivalry, this was a saga. So having John Cena's final match be against Adam Copeland would be poetic. It would bring Cena's career full circle by having him face one of his greatest rivals, one of the men who helped make him into the wrestler and the star he became. It would give both men the opportunity to write one final chapter in their legendary story. It would give fans a nostalgia hit while also providing genuine stakes because this would be Cena's last match ever. You can't get bigger than that. But, and this is a massive but that has me concerned and angry, is Adam Copeland physically capable of giving John Cena the match his retirement deserves? Let's talk about the elephant in the room that WWE seems to be ignoring. Adam Copeland, the artist formerly known as Edge, has had serious neck issues throughout his career. He was forced to retire in 2011 because of neck injuries. He came back in 2020 after years of recovery and medical advances, and he had some great matches, but he was always one bump away from potentially career-ending or even life-altering injury. And then Copeland went to AEW, where he's been wrestling a more physical, more dangerous style than he probably should be at this stage of his career. He's been in hardcore matches, he's been taking bumps that make you wince, and the entire time you're watching him, there's this underlying fear that something could go wrong. That one bad landing could end not just his career but could leave him with permanent damage. Copeland has been living on borrowed time physically, and everyone knows it. So when WWE teases Adam Copeland as John Cena's final opponent, my immediate reaction isn't just excitement, it's worry. Can Copeland physically do justice to this moment? Can he work a match at WrestleMania or whatever major show WWE is planning for Cena's farewell that lives up to the expectations? Can he do it safely without risking permanent injury? Because John Cena's final match needs to be special. It needs to be a match people remember forever. It can't be a situation where both guys are working so carefully and so protectively that the match feels safe and boring. Here's what makes this even more frustrating: there are so many other options for John Cena's final opponent. So many current stars who could benefit enormously from being the answer to the trivia question, who was John Cena's last opponent? Austin Theory could use that rub. LA Knight could have an incredible match with Cena that elevates Knight into permanent main event status. Cody Rhodes, if he's still champion, could give Cena one more shot at glory. Randy Orton, Cena's longest rival, could give him a retirement match that's based on decades of history and mutual respect. But WWE seems fixated on this nostalgia play with Adam Copeland, and I get it from a business perspective. Cena vs. Edge sells. It gets mainstream attention. It gets headlines. Casual fans who haven't watched in years will tune in to see these two legends face off one more time. From a marketing standpoint, it makes perfect sense. But from a wrestling standpoint, from a what's best for John Cena's legacy standpoint, I have serious reservations. Let's talk about what John Cena's final match should be. It should be at WrestleMania, obviously. Cena has main event so many WrestleManias, has had so many iconic moments at the Showcase of the Immortals, that his farewell has to be there. It should be given 25 to 30 minutes to tell a complete story. It should feature multiple false finishes that make the crowd believe Cena might actually lose his retirement match. It should end with Cena getting the victory, walking up the ramp one last time, and getting a standing ovation from 80,000 people who appreciate everything he's done for WWE and for wrestling. Can Adam Copeland deliver that kind of match in 2025 or whenever this happens? I honestly don't know, and that uncertainty is what makes this tease so frustrating. If Copeland were 100% healthy, if there were no questions about his neck, if he was still in his prime, then hell yes, this would be the perfect match. But we're not in that reality. We're in a reality where Copeland is wrestling on limited time, where every match could be his last not by choice but by necessity, where the risk of injury is always present. The tease on SmackDown was also frustrating because it was so vague. WWE didn't come out and say Adam Copeland is John Cena's final opponent. They just hinted at it, suggested it, planted the seed. And that's WWE's way of testing the waters, seeing how fans react, keeping their options open in case they decide to go a different direction. But it's also WWE's way of generating buzz without committing to anything, and that's lazy. If you're going to tease something this big, then commit to it. Don't just drop hints and see what happens. Here's another issue: Adam Copeland is currently in AEW. He's under contract with Tony Khan's company. So for this match to happen, there would need to be some kind of arrangement between WWE and AEW, or Copeland would need to finish his AEW commitments and become a free agent. That adds another layer of complexity to making this match happen. It's not just about whether it's a good idea creatively, it's about whether it's even possible logistically. And WWE teasing it without having those details worked out is potentially setting fans up for disappointment. But let's say WWE does make it happen. Let's say they work out a deal with AEW or Copeland's contract situation resolves itself. Let's say Adam Copeland versus John Cena for Cena's final match becomes official. How do they build to it? How do they make it feel worthy of the moment? They can't just have Copeland show up 1 week and challenge Cena. They need weeks of storytelling, of building the personal stakes, of reminding people why this rivalry matters and why these two men facing each other one last time is significant. They need video packages showing their history together. They need promos where both men talk about what they meant to each other's careers. They need to acknowledge that this is more than just a match, this is the end of an era, the closing of a chapter, the final confrontation between two of the greatest rivals in WWE history. They need to make people care on an emotional level, not just a nostalgic "oh cool, Edge and Cena again" level. And I'm not confident WWE will put in that work. WWE has a terrible habit of announcing major matches and then doing minimal build. They assume that just putting two big names together is enough, that fans will automatically care because of name recognition. But that's not how you create memorable moments. You create memorable moments by investing in the story, by giving people a reason to be emotionally invested in the outcome, by making every promo and every segment build toward the eventual match. If Adam Copeland is going to be John Cena's final opponent, then WWE needs to treat this like the biggest story of the year. It needs to be the central focus of programming for months leading up to the match. It needs to feel inevitable and essential. Cena and Copeland both need to be given unlimited microphone time to explain what this means to them. We need to see their evolution from rivals to reluctant respect to legends who understand that their careers are intertwined forever. And the match itself? It needs to be perfect. Not just good. Not just solid. Perfect. Because this is John Cena's last match. There are no do-overs. There's no "we'll get it right next time." This is it. So the match needs to be structured beautifully, needs to have psychology that makes sense, needs to have moments that make people feel something. It needs to end with John Cena standing tall, victorious, with his hand raised one final time while the crowd gives him the send-off he deserves. But here's my fear: what if the match is just okay? What if Copeland's physical limitations mean they can't do all the spots they want to do? What if it feels restrained instead of epic? What if it's a fine match but not a great match, and John Cena's career ends with people saying that was nice instead of that was incredible? That would be a tragedy, and it's a very real possibility if they go this direction. There's also the question of who wins. Obviously John Cena should win his retirement match, right? He should go out on his back. Wait, no, that's the wrestler's way, going out on your back, putting someone over one last time. But Cena isn't a traditional wrestler. He's a star, an icon, someone who transcended wrestling. Does he need to put someone over in his final match? Or does he deserve to go out with a victory, with his hand raised, as the winner? If Adam Copeland is the opponent, then Cena definitely should win because Copeland doesn't need the rub. Copeland is already a Hall of Famer, already a legend, already established. Having Copeland beat Cena in Cena's retirement match would serve no purpose except to be shocking, and shock for the sake of shock is stupid booking. But if Cena's opponent was someone younger like Austin Theory or LA Knight, then maybe you could make the argument that Cena should put them over in his final match to create a new star. But with Copeland? No. Cena wins. Cena has to win. The reaction to this tease has been mixed in the wrestling community, and that tells you everything you need to know about how uncertain people are about this decision. Some fans are thrilled at the prospect of seeing Edge and Cena one more time. They remember the classics, they want that nostalgia hit, they think it's poetic. Other fans are skeptical, worried about Copeland's health, questioning whether this is really the best option for Cena's farewell. Both perspectives are valid, and that division in the fanbase is what makes this tease so frustrating. WWE needs to read the room. They need to understand that while nostalgia is powerful, it's not everything. They need to understand that fans want John Cena's retirement to be perfect, not just profitable. They need to understand that if they're going to go the Adam Copeland route, they better be certain that Copeland can deliver physically and that the story they tell is worthy of both men's legacies. If there's any doubt, they should pivot to a different opponent. The Last Time Is Now branding for Cena's retirement tour is perfect, by the way. It captures the urgency, the finality, the significance of what we're watching. Every John Cena match from now until his retirement is historic because it might be the last time we see certain moves, certain moments, certain Cena things. WWE should be treating every Cena appearance like event television, and having his final opponent be someone as significant as Adam Copeland fits that energy. But it has to be done right. So here's what I need from you, the WrestlingNewsCC family. Do you want Adam Copeland to be John Cena's final opponent? Do you think Copeland can physically deliver the match that Cena's retirement deserves? Who would you choose as Cena's last opponent if you were making the decision? Do you trust WWE to build this properly if they go the Copeland route? And most importantly, what do you want to see in John Cena's retirement match regardless of who the opponent is? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this is one of the biggest decisions WWE will make this year. Hit that like button if you're excited about the possibility of Cena vs Copeland but nervous about the execution. Subscribe to WrestlingNewsCC because we're going to be covering every development in John Cena's retirement tour, every potential opponent, every match, every moment until the very end. Share this with other wrestling fans who need to weigh in on whether this is the right call for Cena's farewell. John Cena's final match should be perfect. It should be a celebration of an incredible career, a fitting end to a legendary run, a moment that makes people feel something. Adam Copeland as his opponent could be all of those things if done correctly. But it could also be a disappointing, safe, nostalgia play that doesn't live up to expectations. WWE has the opportunity to get this right or to screw it up spectacularly. Let's hope they choose wisely, because John Cena and wrestling fans everywhere deserve the perfect ending to an incredible story.